Happy Wednesday, and I'm super excited to be with you again today. As you know, it is Wednesdays with Jenna. I'm an agent like you. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, a sister, all the things. And I have built 4 top 1% real estate businesses in the last 10 years. And I have done it not through perfection. I have done it through the systems that I'm teaching you in the series that we've been doing lately. So I'm really excited to get started on our framework. Why do we work from a framework? If you don't know why, it's because with framework comes focus. All my years in real estate and myself for many years, I would just learn, right? And if you're constantly learning and there's nothing through which to systematize what you're learning, essentially, okay, this is conversion that I just learned today. This is a system with people or technology that's going to help my business be leveraged. This is something that I can add to my business that will help me stick out from the crowd. If you don't know what that thing is that you're learning and how to actually turn it into mastery, then you're just constantly learning and never mastering anything. And so I basically, through building 4 businesses, I've done it wrong. I've done it kind of right. And I have done it, at least for what I think, pretty right. I mean, this last time I got it pretty right. But I'm still learning and growing every single day. And I want to share my journey with you guys so that you can be successful and avoid pitfalls and also work off of a framework. So if you remember, we talked, and we can go back to this, about the cash flow quadrant, which is the entrepreneurial framework of a business owner, and how everyone's mindset when they go into real estate is, oh, I'm a business owner now. I'm the big bad boss, right? But actually what you are is an entire ecosystem. All right. You're an entire ecosystem responsible to only you. And that's why I feel like so many people have problems when they get into this business, because what you actually are is self-employed by yourself. You're a self-employed person still trading time for money in the beginning, but we want to get you the heck out of that space and into business ownership ASAP. And I'm going to show you the piece of the puzzle. This is the wheel of success that I have worked off of for years. And I was missing pieces of this wheel for a really long time. And it led to really total destruction of my life and relationships because I was missing some of it. And we're going to talk about that today. And we're really focusing on conversion today and helping you understand why it is so critical, why it is so key. And it is literally the bridge between you and your success. You can have everything else together in your business and you don't have conversion and you will be frustrated. Or you can have a couple pieces and be really, really awesome at conversion. I was always, not always, I had to learn the first couple of years were rough, real rough. I was not a shining star my first couple of years. It took really hard work, 12, 16-hour days, 7 days a week, dialing phone numbers and falling on my face, right? Before I really learned conversion. But now that I have learned that and done it the hard way, what I did after that is I built a business that just had conversion and leads and nothing else. I had no systems. I had no people, nothing. And so basically what happened is I was working 80-hour weeks, pregnant with my first child, and exhausted and totally worn out. So conversion is critical along with all these pieces. I'm going to show you this wheel that I have worked off of and why it is so critical. You feel me? Okay, so here's the wheel of success. We've talked about leads. We've talked about value add, how you stand out in the marketplace, why you are different. It is not enough just to be able to be someone's friend these days, or just to be the one that works the hardest. You either have to be the cheapest or you have to be the person that brings the most value. And you have to provide something tangible that's different for your clients. That's a value add, how you stand out from the crowd. Then we have systems. We went over that last week. And finally, we're going to talk about conversion. This is a wheel of success for a reason, because the linchpin of your success, the thing that holds this wheel together, is going to fly off the cart if you don't have conversion. And it takes work to learn how to convert people. And I want to show you my formula today for how I have achieved conversion success. And I also want to show you what's going to happen if you don't have the whole system in place, okay, this whole wheel. And I also want to show you essentially what happens if you're just good at conversion too, kind of like I was for a while. So we are talking about conversion. Here is my formula. And we're not going to actually go through how to implement this formula. The formula itself is very simple. And here's what it is. It's the letter G and W 3 times. GW3. That's how you can remember it. Okay. And I'll show you what all that stands for here in a minute. It is so critical how you convert someone as well. Not just that you convert them, but how you convert them. Because here's the interesting part. I know we've talked about value add and how it's really critical to stand out, right? Be the most valuable person in the marketplace. But if people do not know that you have listened to them and heard them and understand what they want and their why and their needs, they're not going to care that you're an expert. So we have to have a balance of the two, right? It's so critical. Here's another thing that I had to master. I did not have a choice. I did not have a network in Dallas-Fort Worth. I was 25 years old and I was a professional ballroom dancer when I got into this industry. That's what I did before this. I had no network at all. And I had to master conversion or just quit. I mean, it was that way. And I mastered this mostly off of cold calls and online leads. That's how I built my first like 2 or 3 business. Before you can really get to your client's critical why and all these things. Now look, with your SOI, their guard's already down. If you have worked with them before or it's a referral, okay? If you want exponential growth, you cannot just work your SOI. You need to be able to talk to builders. You need to be able to talk to people on the street. You need to be able to talk to people that don't know, like, and trust you yet. And you've got to learn this skill set that I'm going to teach you today if you do not know it already. You have to learn how to get people's guard down. I know that that sounds crazy. That's what the G is for. It's guard. Get their guard down. When you engage with someone at a networking meeting and they find out that you're a realtor, they already know 15,000. Like, maybe not literally. I'm exaggerating. They know a lot of you. And honestly, if it's somebody in like roofing or lending or whatever, like they probably need your contact information, but the vast majority of consumers who might buy or sell a home, their guard goes up right away because you're a salesperson. How do we get that guard down? That is the first step. We have got to get people's guard down when we talk to them. That is the very first step. If they're automatically pushing away from us, oh, it's a salesperson, oh, it's another real estate agent. I don't want to tell my neighbor down the street, like, I'm talking to another real estate agent, thinking about selling my house. Like, we have to be able to get to know them and get that guard down and let them know that, honestly, sure, we'd be interested in doing business with them, but we're really just interested in them in a genuine way and in an authentic way. Okay, so get the guard down is the first step of conversion, especially when working outside of your SOI. Now, the next 3 W's are for any appointment you ever have with any client ever, even if they are in your SOI. And you guys, I've trained a lot of agents at this point in my career, especially agents on my team. The number one mistake that people make working with their SOI, write this down, is not taking time to get to know that person's needs when they sit down for an appointment, because you're shoo-in. Their mom referred you and you've worked with 3 generations of their family, blah, blah, blah. Who cares, honestly? I mean, that is great. And congratulations. That's awesome. And yes, we need to celebrate that. But honestly, that client still is an individual reasons why they're selling or buying a home and individual needs. And you need to pause and act. This is a first time you're ever meeting them. Don't take them for granted. I saw this all the time with people on my team, and I had to start training people. No, I don't care if they know you from the military base. I don't care if they know you from wherever. You still need to give them a professional presentation, even if it's abbreviated, to show why you're worth your salt, why you know your stuff. Why, guys, why do we need to do this? Because the second something goes wrong, if you skipped over that part, they're going to think it's because you're just a friend of a friend and that it's your fault. Because you never showed them why you matter, why your services matter, why you're good at what you do. You didn't build your credibility. And another thing I see agents do all the time with their SOI is they don't ever learn about their client. They don't learn about their why. They just go over and sign a listing agreement, stick a price on it, and they're like, okay, this is awesome. They don't learn about their client's why. And I'm going to define what why means in a minute. That's the second. That's the first W in the formula is why. Every single client has a why. I don't care if it is an investor from overseas. They're not investing in real estate just because they have extra money. There's a reason, and usually an emotional one, or something that at least has purpose and meaning about why they're investing. Okay. And we need to get to that. And I'll explain why here in a little bit. So don't make that mistake with your SOI. Just because you know them and they know, like, and trust you already does not mean that you get a free pass to just sign freaking paperwork, right? You have got to still get their guard down by asking them about them, get their why, get their timeline, really get to know them, get to know their needs and their goals, and prove to them why you're the right person. Here's how I do it all the time. When I'm sitting down with people, even if it's a referral, I go and I talk to them. I say, hey, I know that we know each other and your mom sent me to you, but you should never hire an agent if they're not willing to sit down and prove to you why you should be paying them a red cent. And so I insist, if you have 20 minutes, that we go through our presentation so you can see that your mom didn't just refer us because she trusts us. She referred us because we are true professionals and experts in this industry. And I would never want you to trust me blindly. That's kind of my script that I say when I'm talking to my SOI. So please, if you have 20 minutes, I'll go through it really quick. I know you want us to list it on market or sell it to an investor, whatever the situation is. You've already told me that's your goal, but I still would just love to show this to you. So you know you're hiring the right person for you. So we still need to prove that. So here's the formula again. All right. Get their guard down. And then we have to get our clients why. Why are they buying or selling a home? I had a closing last week that was so meaningful to me. It was so meaningful because I met this lady in an open house in February at a listing that's closing next month. Finally, it's been so hard to close. And she was a disabled veteran. And we just hit it off and she was so great and she was so awesome. We have been in touch about homes and got her pre-approved, all these things. And for just a minute, she found another agent who promised to give her some commission back at the closing and started looking at houses with that agent and ended up calling me. And she was like, I'm kind of embarrassed to call you because I've been looking at houses with another agent, but I don't trust this person. And every single time I ask them questions, they have no answer for my questions. And I feel bad because she's a nice person, but she promised to give us some commission back at the closing. And I would love to save some money, but I want to work with you, even if I don't save that money. Guys, why did she come back to me? It's not because I've hung the moon. It's because I have studied hard and I have learned my stuff and I'm an expert and I got to know her why. And I still stayed in touch with her. Even when she ignored me like 3 or 4 times, I still kept reaching out and I still kept sending her homes and I still kept trying. We closed last week and at the closing table, she cried. She was so overjoyed about buying her first home and she made me cry and it was worth it. And why did that happen? Because I got her guard down. I learned her why and I invested into her why, which was she wanted to be a homeowner and have that generational wealth passed down to her family. And this for her has been a goal for years and she has freaking earned it. And so it wasn't about finding the right house. It was about her achieving her dreams. Do you see the difference? And I was invested, truly invested in that with her. And so she came back to me to close last week and we got her $13,500 in concessions and a brand new roof, baby. Bam, talk about saving money. She saved way more than what that other agent was going to give her back. So that is what happens when you practice these conversion techniques, getting people's guard down, getting their why, finding that emotional reason. Somebody wants a big backyard, ask them why. Okay. One of my other clients did that recently. It wasn't because he just likes to mow large patches of grass. It's because his dog is his child and he's moving way out of state with no family in the area. And he wants his dog to have everything. So we didn't just buy a house for him. We bought a house for the dog. Okay. And that was really meaningful to him. So get their why. It matters. Then after you get somebody's guard down, you get their why. The next is when. That's when you're going to go through a little bit more of the qualification process and actually get their timeline. Okay. And then you're going to figure out what it is they're actually looking for. What I see people do all the time is, oh, somebody calls their phone. Oh yeah, this is Jenna Hernandez with JPAR Real Estate. How can I help you? Oh, well, I saw this listing, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, it's a 3-2, whatever. And basically what happens is you just ask people what they're looking for. Every agent on the planet can set up a search on their MLS and send people houses. My conversation never starts with that. It starts with, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for calling. I'm so glad I was not in an appointment so that I could take this time to talk with you. And what about this house caught your eye? See how that is totally different than it's a 3-2, 449, blah, blah, blah. And kind of set a search for you. That's not getting to know anybody at all, right? What about this house caught your eye? And from there, you ask additional leading questions. Is this making sense? Okay. So that's the formula that I am probably going to do a really deep dive into that. It might actually be a full-blown course because it's really involved and it is life-changing for you. and life-changing for your business. And it has been the one thing that has saved me. I actually was a head agent of an Inc. 1000 investment firm, and I left because I caught them doing shady stuff with a 1-year-old kid, and I had no idea how I was going to rebuild my business and make money again. And I went straight back to online leads and this GW3 formula. And within a single, I think it was 14, 16 months, I was back at top 1%. And it's not because I'm special. It's because I care about being the best that I can be, just like you care about being the best that you can freaking be. And you're going to learn this formula so that you can master conversion. Okay. So that's what's up. And this is what has saved me every single time. And here's a couple of things I just would love to impress upon you as well. I'm going to teach you a fast formula to failure and burnout. Leads plus conversion alone. I'm going to go back and share my screen with you first. Here's your wheel of success. This is why it matters to me. I'm so passionate about it because I care about you guys, and I don't want you to have the same failures that I had, the same struggles that I had. So leads, conversion, consistency, parts of this wheel. That is a formula for burnout because you don't have a market differentiator and you do not have systems. Literally for the rest of your career, you will be buried in work. You don't have a CRM. You don't have people. You can't even stop long enough to train people. Back when I had, I was still like nursing my baby and working 80 hours a week with the investment firm. I was waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to train my staff members because I didn't have systems. I was already too wildly successful, and like going back and rebuilding my business on the right foundation was brutal. I literally was losing my mind. You can ask everybody in my life at the time. It was so hard. So a fast track to burnout is leads, conversion, and consistency without a market differentiator that makes people value you and systems in place. Okay. Now check this. If you have a great value add and great systems, but no leads, you can't do conversion because you ain't got no leads. So we got to get you leads, and you got to watch the thing from like 2 or 3 weeks ago that we did, how to get yourself some leads. So this literally is your formula to master self-employment and to learn to master this real estate game at the first step so that we can get you through as quickly as you possibly can onto the next phase, which is the business ownership or just making a ton of money where you can start to invest in real estate. Okay. And conversion, ultimately at the end of the day, you can have every single piece. I also know some people who have leads and value add and system, and they have consistency. I see this too, and it breaks my heart. Okay, because they don't know how to convert yet. And it's all sales and it's despotism, and they haven't taken the time to learn how to motivate people to work with them in a genuine and authentic way, which also is founded in integrity, right? If you believe in what you do, conversion becomes something really easy to master because you're just finding out what people need and you know that you're the best person for them. So I've seen that too, and that is a recipe for total burnout as well. So master this wheel of success. You will master yourself. You will master the first step in this real estate game. Build your success correctly, where you can actually build freedom and a system that is also sellable and duplicatable. That is my desire for you guys. Ultimately, I'm all about freedom, and I hope that this helped you today. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. It's so meaningful to me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.